placing a lollipop stick into the center of some PVC pipe and then filling it with some hot glue. After letting it dry, we can cut off most of the lollipop stick and then drill in a couple of holes. Now we have a replacement. A screen window is a must, especially during the summer. Unfortunately, this screen isn't super easy to install. We can make a plastic tab like this one to help. Simply lift up this rubber spline using a flathead screwdriver and put our tab underneath and push everything down into the slot. Now we can install our screen from the inside. This nozzle is cut a little too small to apply our sealant quickly. Let's modify the nozzle. First we'll melt the tip and seal it shut. Then we'll make a vertical incision along the nozzle. Now we can apply a much thicker layer faster. And once we're finished, we can seal everything up with a bit of duct tape. We don't want the raw wood to be exposed on our baseboards, so we'll cut everything to look a little bit more professional. We can cut clean 45-degree angles to the baseboard on both ends. Now we can line up the ends to form a neat angle. Tape the two ends together, then flip it over and add a piece of double-sided tape. This will keep our end piece secure. Sometimes we need a small foam brush to paint our projects. We can make one by hot gluing a pencil to a binder clip and then cutting off a piece of sponge for the brush head. Apply the paint like so. When finished, replace the old sponge with a new one. Here we're tying a prusik hitch, also known as a prusik knot. It's a rather useful knot because it's simple to tie and simple to untie. It stays secure under tension and it moves freely when not under tension. Besides being used in rock climbing, it's especially useful for tying rope to fixed posts. Now we're going to be joining these two beams together in a relatively simple way. We'll make some marks to match the width of the crossbeam and make another mark halfway deep. Next, we'll remove this section by making multiple cuts into the wood with a saw. Now we can break off the remaining clips. Then we can smooth out the bottom of our cut with either a miter saw like so, or simply by using a chisel. Now we'll use two screws to make our marks into both pieces of the wood to drill holes for dowels. We can use a pencil to make it easier to see the indents. Drill holes on the indents and install the dowels. Next, we'll add two more dowels into the corners, ensuring that the hole that we drill is angled. This is called a pocket hole. Fill the hole with glue and hammer in the dowels. Next, we'll saw off the ends of the dowels that are sticking out. Let's move on to our next project, which will be adding a depth stop to our hand saw. Start by cutting out a rectangle piece of wood that's the length of the saw blade and cut it about half its width. Next, we want to cut out two notches that are the same width as the bolts we'll be using to attach the depth stop to the saw. It's easier if we drill holes first and then saw out the remainder of the notch. A little bit of sanding wouldn't hurt either. Place the wood onto the saw blade and then make two marks in each notch. The higher the better. Using a center punch, we can make sure our drill stays lined up. Drill the holes into the saw blade. Slide one bolt into each hole, then place our depth stop, and lastly add a washer and a wing nut to each bolt. Now we can adjust our depth stop to the height that we need. It seems like this clothespin is unable to pick up this nut, but we can make a little adjustment to turn the clothespin into a handy pair of tweezers. Remove the spring and flip the sticks inside out. Reattach the spring, and now our tweezers can pick up all sorts of little things. Here's a fun little party trick using matches and a syringe. First, take the syringe apart. Dispose of the needle properly. Take a box of matches and cut out the rough side of the matchbox. Roll the cutout around the tip of a match. Next, we'll wrap it multiple times using tape. It matches the width of the inside of the syringe. Place the match and the tape inside the syringe. Now, just slam the plunger down onto the table to ignite the match. Here we have a piece of ribbon that's cut. Instead of gluing it, we can tie it together using a simple overhand knot. Pass the second piece of ribbon around the knot like so. For our last project, we'll be making an adjustable wrench by welding together a few nuts and bolts. First, we'll secure a square tube in our vise and then weld a nut onto the end. We can grind down some of the rough edges using an angle grinder. Next, we'll put 2 nuts onto an extra long bolt, spaced about 2 inches apart. Secure one of the nuts near the end of the square tube with a clamp, and then weld both nuts onto the square tube. Now we need to make a fixed jaw, also known as the top of the clamp. To do that, we'll cut off a piece of scrap metal in the shape of an L. Now we'll weld this piece. Again, we'll grind off some of the rough edges with an angle grinder. Now we can use it just like a normal wrench when you don't happen to have the exact size wrench or socket for the job. Just twist the bolts according to the size that you need. It can even be used for abnormal shaped objects. The tip of your snap blade is getting dull. You can clip it off with a pair of pliers for a fresh tip. We need to fill spackling around this hole without making a mess. We can use a drywall knife to help us out. Seems like this paint roller brush is a bit too long. We can saw it down to the appropriate size and then put back the end piece where it belongs. This fits perfectly. This bolt keeps falling out of the socket. We can use a rubber band to hold it in place. Now just attach the socket. Remove the rubber band when finished. This bearing is looking a little bit dirty. We can remove a lot of the grime with just the help of some duct tape. By adding a binder clip and a pen to the back of this measuring tape, we can make quick marking gauge for marking straight lines. We can use some tacks to help us line up these dowels. Now we just drill our holes, and our dowels fit perfectly. This hammer is a bit too wide to reach this nail. We can stack another nail on top to drive the first nail all the way in. Here's a cool device that will help us screw in 2 pieces of board together. Let's create a tool that will help us safely sand small pieces of wood without injuring our fingers. We'll place the wood on one side and a wedge on the other side. Now we can sand safely. We can glue these clothespins to the wall to act as a hanger for any instructions or diagrams. We can still get this TV remote to work, even if we only have one battery. Insert the battery, and then roll up a piece of aluminum foil. Place it inside the other battery slot, and now you can use the remote. We can solder these two pieces of wire together by running an electric current through them. By drilling a hole into this bolt, we can pass wire rope through the bolt and then screw it into the post, making cable railing. Just be sure to secure the wire rope on the other side. If you're having a hard time toe nailing, that is, hammering a nail into a stud, you can use a curved nail to make hammering a little easier. Now we're making a DIY expansion anchor. Round off the head of the bolt so that it fits into the PVC pipe. Add a washer and a bolt so that it looks like this. Place it into the block and tighten up the bolt until it's secure. This set of wrenches is a bit unorganized. We can fasten the head of this rake to the wall and hang all of our wrenches on that. If we cut these boards along the markings like so, we'll have a nice, secure stand that'll help us plane and sand our woodworking pieces. Here we have a dado joint that we are going to lock into place using these dowels. Drill holes, add some glue, insert the dowels, and then saw them flush. Then sand everything for a smooth finish. Next, we're cutting out a drill holder for our belt from this plastic bottle. These tabs will attach to our belt. This drill fits nicely. Let's make a tripod out of PVC. We'll drill some holes to create a slot that holds our phone. Then we'll cut out the legs of the tripod. Now we can watch all of our favorite videos. If we have an old fork, we can bend it like this and then use it as a wire twister. Let's use this brand new brush head with stiff bristles and attach it to the end of the rod and drill. Now we can scrub all the skin off these soaked potatoes in record time. It's much faster than peeling. By drilling a few holes in this board and adding a bit of varnish, we can make a stand for our pliers.